Kids are annoying. They whine, they shit, they run around, and worst of all, they cry. And trust me, I know a thing or two about crying. All the things I listed were just a description of me. Whatever you're imagining how I was as a kid, multiply that by 10 and you'll get about where I was as a kid. I was the worst. I would whine all the time, I would shit like no other, and I would climb trees and jump into the deep end of the pool knowing damn well I don't know how to swim. These are already bad enough, but to top it all off, I was the biggest baby crier in my school. Probably the whole district. This is what I was known for. I cried for the hell of it sometimes. Other times just strategically to get what I want. I was at my worst around 2nd to 3rd grade. Why? Because that's when Dragon Ball was on Toonami. Dragon Ball, if you've been living under a rock, is a bunch of aliens and half aliens screaming really loud and powering up. So I'm pretty sure you can see where this is going. So when I was in PE or gym or instructed recess, whatever you want to call it, so we were instructed to just sit on the floor. So there were like about 15 of us just sitting around each other, and I was in the middle of them. So it's very hard for me to sit still, you know. So I was on crisscross applesauce, sitting on my ass, you know. I was at one point laying on my stomach, just swaying my legs, you know what I mean? Weird, right? But then I did the forbidden position. Yes, I'm talking about the Indian squat. I got up, got on my tippy toes, and as I was squatting down, not a 90-degree angle squat, no, I'm talking ass to grass squat, okay? As I'm doing that, the fragile bomb in my stomach, I like to call a fart, decides to go off. Then all my classmates around me just scatter instantly. And then in unison, they just yell, "Ew!" They're just all pointing at me. I felt embarrassed. So, just like any other kid would, I cried. But this wasn't any regular cry. As I mentioned before, I watched Dragon Ball. And in Dragon Ball, people scream when they're emotional, you know? And that usually powers them up. And watching that as a kid, I'm like, whoa, that's cool. So in a poor attempt to save my reputation, I fell to my knees and started screaming, you know, just like, ah! You know, just like crying, tears running down my eyes, you know, gas coming out my butt, just crying, you know, just like trying to save my reputation. But keep in mind, this is not doing my reputation any good, okay? My classmates were watching a kid fall to their knees crying and farting and screaming. Yeah, it was a wild sight to see. You know, this is all really bad, but sadly, it just gets worse. Next story starts off like any other school day. I wake up, put clothes on, eat eggs and sausage, brush my teeth, and just go on to school. You know, normal so far, right? So I go to school, and what do I see? Oh my god, new assigned seats. I don't know about you guys, but getting new assigned seats were always fucking hype as shit for me, okay? Because there was always a chance that I'd be able to sit next to my crush. And who would have thought I got to sit next to my crush? I was really excited. Maybe I was a little too excited though, because right when that happened, right when I got my name called, the eggs and sausage went right to work. So what I learned from last time is that I gotta let out little by little, so that, you know, it doesn't just come out like, you know, because then it'll be very noticeable and it'll be a big noise. And who will that noise be coming from? It'll be coming from me. So I was doing that, and for a while it was working, but then something happened. I let a little bit too much gas out in the short amount of time. So I made a toot noise, just enough so my crush could hear it. The face I see on her was a mix of disgust, surprise, and just disappointment. Now you see, I don't cry right away, okay? I'm a big boy now. I'm in 2nd grade, okay? But then there comes a point where I just can't hold up the tough guy act anymore. Then I start crying, you know, I start crying profusely, because who wouldn't cry in this situation? You know, this is sad. My like, you know, crush hates me now because I farted, right? Is what I was thinking, at least. But then after this, the teacher notices and she pulls me right out of class. This is where it gets really bad, okay? So I was standing outside, you know, against the wall and shit, and she was just there interrogating me. Like, what happened? Who made you cry? Are you okay? You know? Just like a good teacher would, right? And that's when I realized that it's not a big deal, you know? Like, I'm gonna have to tell this woman the reason why I'm crying is because I farted in front of my crush. That's what I have to tell her, you know? And I don't want to do that, so I just refuse to respond. And she refuses to take that as a response, right? So she keeps asking me, you know, just trying to pry it out of me, you know what I'm saying? And eventually I do say it. Yes, I ended up snitching on my crush. Yeah, she got in trouble for some reason. Honestly, it's pretty bullshit that she got in trouble. Like, who wouldn't respond with ew, gross, right? So then right after I responded, she sent me back into class and she decides to do a public service announcement. She just goes up in front of the class and just says, it's okay to fart. It's normal part of the body, you know. So if you fart, it's really immature if you're laughing, and you're the one that should be laughed at, right? Is what she basically says. So now everybody that didn't know I was crying because I farted now knows I cried because I farted. Thanks, Miss. So yeah, that's all the stories I have. This is a really short one, but more videos for like this to come. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video, and also check out my past videos. Bye.